There is something I notice every time I return to visit family in Japan. The older women in their 60s and 70s, move through their mornings with such quiet ease. No elaborate rituals, no shelves crowded with bottles. Just small, repeated actions that have been part of daily life for as long as anyone can remember. And their skin, clear, firm, unhurried looking, the kind of skin that makes you pause. I am 61 years old. I grew up watching the women around me tend to themselves in ways that had nothing to do with the beauty industry and everything to do with ordinary kitchen ingredients, cold water, and an understanding of the body that was simply passed down, mother to daughter, without fanfare. What I want to share with you today are 11 of those habits, not treatments, not a regimen, just the quiet daily things that Japanese women have done for generations, things that cost almost nothing and that you can begin tonight if you choose to. The first habit has no name in the beauty world because it was never considered a beauty habit at all. In the village of Yuzuriha, researchers from Shiseido once went to understand why the women there had such unusually smooth skin well into their 70s. What they found was not a product. It was a basin of water. Every morning, the women who prepared the day's rice would rinse the grains, and that cloudy, milky water, instead of being poured away, was used to wash the face. They did not call it a toner. They called it breakfast water. That water carries inositol, which is understood to help repair UV-damaged skin cells, and ferulic acid, a plant antioxidant. If you ferment the water for a day or two before using it, its properties concentrate further. A bowl of rice rinsing water left overnight on the counter is where this habit begins. Nothing purchased, nothing measured. The second habit addresses something Western beauty culture got badly wrong for a very long time. For decades, women were told that oil was the enemy of clear skin. Japanese women quietly ignored that. The double cleanse, oil first, has been ordinary practice in Japan for generations. You begin with camellia oil, what we call tsubaki oil, pressed from the seeds of the Camellia japonica flower. You apply it to dry skin before any water touches the face, and you work it in gently. It dissolves the day's accumulation, sunscreen, pollution, the invisible residue that water alone cannot lift. What makes tsubaki oil remarkable is its fatty acid profile. Its primary component is oleic acid at over 80%. Human sebum, the skin's own natural oil, has a very similar composition. This is why the oil absorbs without sitting on top of the skin, without congesting the pores. The expensive single-ingredient facial oils being sold today for significant sums are quietly attempting to be exactly this. After the oil cleanse, a gentle water-based wash follows. 2 steps. The skin is clean in a way that 1 step alone cannot achieve. The oil was in my grandmother's kitchen cabinet. It was cooking oil and skincare in the same bottle, and she never thought anything of it. The third habit is one you can do tonight with nothing more than a wide bowl and cold water. After the evening bath, and the women I grew up around always bathed in the evening, a bowl would be filled with very cold water. The face was submerged for a moment, lifted, submerged again. It sounds simple because it is. Cold temperature causes blood vessels to contract. Puffiness that has accumulated through the day is reduced. The surface of the skin firms visibly. Modern spas now offer this as cryotherapy, and they charge considerably for it. She needed cold water and a bowl. Both are available in your kitchen tonight. The fourth habit lives in every Japanese household that drinks green tea, which is to say, nearly all of them. After steeping a cup, instead of discarding the tea or drinking all of it immediately, the cooled liquid was patted gently onto the face with the fingertips. No cotton pad needed, just the hands. Green tea contains EGCG, epigallocatechin galate, a compound that published research has associated with meaningful reductions in UV damage to the skin's surface cells. Nobody in my childhood home called this a toner. It was just leftover tea used before it was put away. The practice took perhaps 30 seconds. The tea was already made. The fifth habit involves a small red bean that has been ground into powder and used to wash the face for longer than any of us can trace. Azuki beans, the same beans used in traditional Japanese sweets, dried and ground fine, mixed with a little water into a soft paste and used as a daily exfoliant. The reason this works so gently is saponins, naturally occurring compounds in the bean that create a mild lather and lift away dead skin without tearing it. Modern physical scrubs, the ones with large granules or abrasive particles, can cause microscopic tears in the skin surface. Those tears trigger inflammation, and chronic low-grade inflammation accelerates the very loosening and dullness that women are trying to prevent. Azuki powder causes none of that. It was trusted for newborn skin. If it was gentle enough for a baby, it was gentle enough for the face every day. The sixth habit uses matcha in a way that most people outside Japan have never considered. Not to drink, though that matters too, but applied directly to the face. A small amount of high-quality matcha powder whisked with just enough water to form a smooth paste, spread across the face, left for a few minutes, and rinsed away with cool water. Matcha is a concentrated form of green tea, and so the EGCG content is considerably higher. It also contains chlorophyll and anti-inflammatory compounds that help calm redness and offer some protection against environmental stressors. She made this in her kitchen for the cost of a small spoonful of powder. The same active compounds now appear in serums that carry very significant price tags. The ingredient did not change. The packaging did. The seventh habit was not discovered by scientists. It was noticed by brewery workers. In Japan, workers who spent their days immersed in fermenting rice, their hands submerged in the koji fermentation process, were observed to have hands that looked decades younger than the rest of their faces. The mechanism turned out to be koic acid, a natural byproduct of koji fermentation, which inhibits melanin production and gradually brightens uneven tone. This discovery has since become one of the most commercially valuable in the global skincare industry. Koic acid is now found in premium brightening serums worldwide, a market now worth tens of millions of dollars and growing. The women who first used it did not buy it. It arrived by accident in a bowl of fermenting rice. A small amount of sake, fermented rice wine, patted gently onto the skin. After cleansing, carries the same compound in a mild, accessible form. It has been used this way for a long time. The eighth habit is one that no brand can sell you, which is perhaps why it is never discussed in the beauty world. The skin does not simply rest when you sleep. Between 10 in the evening and 2 in the morning, the skin barrier undergoes its most active period of repair. A study published in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology in 2020 found that women who slept before 11:30 at night had 22% lower transepidermal water loss than women who slept after 1 in the morning. Transepidermal water loss is the clinical measure of how well the skin barrier is holding moisture in and keeping damage out. Lower water loss means a tighter, more resilient surface. This habit costs nothing. No product benefits from it. The women I grew up around went to bed early not because someone told them it was good for their skin, but they simply always had. Their skin showed it. The ninth habit lives in the bathwater. Small cloth pouches filled with nuka, rice bran, the outer layer of the rice grain removed during milling, dropped into the bath while the water runs. The water turns silky within minutes. Rice bran is dense with vitamin E, an antioxidant that protects the skin surface, and ceramides, which are the lipid molecules responsible for holding the skin barrier together and preventing moisture loss. Ceramide-based serums and creams now carry extraordinary price tags. Her cloth pouch, filled with the bran from the bottom of the rice bag, cost almost nothing. The bath itself did the work. You stepped out of it with skin that had been gently tended to without a single product being applied. The 10th habit is a simple 2-step facial sequence that requires only a pot of water, a towel, and your kitchen sink. Steam first, a pot of hot water, the face held over it, a towel draped over the head to hold the warmth for a few minutes. The steam softens the skin surface and loosens the residue sitting in the pores, making whatever cleanse follows significantly more thorough. Then immediately, cold water, splashed directly, or a cold wet cloth held against the face. The cold contracts what the steam opened. The result is a cleanse and a tighten in one sequence. Modern spas offer this exact process with more elaborate equipment and considerably more elaborate pricing. She did it in her bathroom after her evening rice was cooking on the stove. The whole thing took perhaps 10 minutes. The 11th habit is not a skincare habit at all. It is an eating habit. But it belongs here because what happens at the table shows up on the face. Harahachi bu, 4 words in Japanese that mean roughly eat until you are 80% full. My grandmother said it before every meal without thinking. It was simply how we ate. The connection to skin is this. When the body consistently processes less than it might, oxidative stress is reduced. And oxidative stress is one of the primary drivers of glycation, the process by which excess sugar molecules bind to collagen fibers, causing them to stiffen and break down, which is what produces sagging and deep lines over time. A study from Columbia University published in 2022 confirmed the direct link between caloric moderation and reduced skin glycation. She did not need a macronutrient breakdown or a meal plan. She had a 4-word phrase that her grandmother had said before her, and the discipline came not from willpower, but from habits so old it no longer felt like discipline at all. What strikes me, looking back at all of these, is how little any of them ask of you. Rice water, cold water, a bowl of tea, a cloth pouch, an early night, a phrase before a meal. Not one of them requires a product. Not one of them requires money. Every single one can begin tonight. I think this is what the women around me understood. that the skin is not a problem to be solved with the right purchase. It is a surface that reflects how consistently you have treated your whole self, quietly, daily, over time.